Hello everyone, welcome back. Good evening. I am only, 20 minutes late? Dude, that's fine. Not really, sorry, but I've got a lot of good stuff planned to talk about tonight. It's not really good ethically, but good content nonetheless. We will be discussing the Epstein files. We will be giving you guys a quick update on the Brown University shooter. We finally know who did it. It was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, so we're not going to get anything out of it. The shooter killed himself. What else we got? Some other news from Trump announcing some more stuff and what to expect, I guess, for next year. And also for this upcoming weekend, we'll be reviewing technical analysis on here for Bitcoin as well. So get ready. Okay. So, yeah, today was Epstein file release day. We've got a lot to go over, but just keep in mind, we didn't get all of the Epstein files. I know it sucks. Why don't we just get it all? What are they trying to hide? But either way, the stuff that they released, pretty incriminating for our fellow American Bill Clinton. We'll talk more about that later. Okay. I have an open position on Bitcoin still, doing fine, up 43. Pretty pathetic, but whatever. This is for long term. We're fine. Bitcoin's current price is 88,066. Good rise that we had from yesterday. We had the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, which as soon as I ended the stream, then we got the numbers, which is annoying. I was waiting for them to release those numbers for such a long time during the stream you guys watched last night. And they just kept delaying and didn't release it until they waited for me to end stream so that they could release it. Yes, we got the rate hike as expected. Why isn't everything dropping? Well, it was already priced in at this point. Everybody knew that this was going to happen, and now we're just happy to put it behind us. And either way, in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about Japan's interest rate, 0.75%, that's not too bad of an interest rate. You're fine. You can still borrow yen or against yen for American dollars to buy equities, stocks, crypto, whatever you wish. So everybody took it more or less like, yeah, this is just business as usual. We'll be fine. It's nothing too substantial, right? So that was good. It's not as cheap as before, of course, but it's still cheap nonetheless, okay? So Japan's situation is behind us. That is good. What to expect next is just more economic data and what to expect for next year, how many rate cuts to expect. Market is being greedy and hoping for 2 rate cuts based off of the last time I checked it. The Fed is playing it pretty slow, saying we're only getting 1 rate cut for next year. But Jerome's gonna leave soon, and Trump is gonna appoint somebody else who will be much more in favor of cutting rates. So here's what we expect. We actually might get the rate cut sooner than expected. So we're skipping January, no rate cut there, fine. March, we're getting a rate cut. We stay the same for April and then June. And then July, we get the second rate cut. And then that's it. That's what markets are expecting at the moment. We do obviously know that Trump wants to appoint somebody who will cut rates even more. But obviously they're not going to go too heavy, I would assume, right? First of all, they must act independent of what the political power tells them to do, right? They cannot be biased in that sense. Although Trump blames Jerome Powell of being biased against him. Whatever, you appointed him. But anyway, so there's that, and then there's also what else? We also do have to make sure that it's appropriate to cut rates. Otherwise, you know, markets are going to be like, okay, why are we cutting rates a little too much? You're going to cause too much inflation, and you know, we probably don't even need rate cuts, that kind of deal. So the independence thing and just making sure we're doing the right thing at the right time. We do rely on the economic data. We do rely on the economy doing good for us to be rewarded with some rate cuts for next year. That's what to expect in that sense. Okay, so price action. We stopped at a high of 89,374 for Bitcoin. Not too bad. I like the rise overall. This was us rising like last night. It kept rising overnight and all throughout the morning. This morning we didn't get any economic data, so we just chilled at the top over here, which is fine. Although, can we talk about this though? This 4.56% drop. What was that all about? Anticipation for rate hike. Yeah, it was already priced in, so we deserved the pump. It was a buy the news event. I wouldn't say as expected because I was expecting this to continue dropping. But I'm kind of glad that we didn't. But I'm also kind of not glad that my other trigger order down here at 83,000 didn't get filled. Whatever. Where I wanted to buy could have been somebody's liquidation price. So I'm not going to force prices lower without any good reason. I put a stop loss to protect my position at 85,800 just in case we get one of those, October 10 things. Buys me cheaper and gets me out of this miserable position. It would be miserable if we are lower than it, but if we're above it, I'm fine with it. Charge me fees, go for it. Rest of the market, altcoins recovering pretty well today. Zcash among the best, which is ironic. I was looking at Zcash and like, yeah, we're in a downtrend with it and we might rise up to this level, but we're still going to be in a downtrend. Hey, now that I talked about it, let's just go ahead and review it. Zcash is on its way up pretty significantly, 15%. We're at 447. After talking about Zcash being below 400, we're almost at 450. That fast. Very volatile. I like it. This is the kind of stuff I seek in coins. A good project and good volatility on it. So we got that with Zcash today. We hit a high of $457.68. Are we in an uptrend? No, not yet. We do need to break the 461 to confirm whether or not we're in an uptrend. You could look at this downtrend line and be like, yeah, we've definitely broken out of it. I wouldn't call that just yet because this could be top, right? Or I don't even know, maybe 475 could be as well, whatever this resistance level is. We could slow down there. I don't think we're going to continue rising throughout the weekend. Saturdays, you know how I feel about Saturdays, very low volatility. We could kind of relax around here at the top. And if the downtrend is going to trend down, then this is going to continue going lower from here. What I would do from here, and this would be an excellent opportunity to do so, is open a short position after I get confirmation that we do get a bit of an overbought level. Maybe that happens over the weekend. Even if we don't, I'm still probably going to do this. Put a stop loss maybe around over here. And I don't know how far down I should go. But I'll give it a risk-reward ratio of 1 to 2 to 1 to 3. This is me expecting prices to be here. I don't know. This could just maybe make me enter over here. Maybe I tighten the stop loss a little just to improve my risk-reward rate, but we'll see. Because I would expect this to not break whatever previous high we have over here. If we are indeed in a downtrend, it should make lower highs, lower lows. So that's kind of what I would expect from this going forward. And I could maybe take some profit off of that. And I should, like I said, I was talking about this yesterday. I shouldn't be afraid to short positions. You're fine with it. And sometimes they work out in your favor because when crypto crashes, it crashes pretty hard, Might as well take advantage of that. Do I want Zcash to fail? Not really. So I wouldn't bet on it for too long. But still, I'll take advantage of the drop if there is one. Is right now the entry? Not yet. No confirmation of whether or not we are bouncing from here. I do see early signs of obviously rejection based off the previous candle, but I'd prefer to just wait out over the weekend and then see what happens by either late Sunday or Monday. I'll probably go back to review this on Sunday. Today is Friday, right? Yeah, so Saturday is going to do nothing. Yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll also have new pivot levels to help us, predict which support levels to be looking at from here. That's kind of what I expect for Zcash. Okay. Negative funding rate 2. I kind of want that to go away before I start shorting. Ethereum is up 5%, 2,977. We did poke above the 3,000. We hit 3,018 today, which is nice, but not enough yet. We need to break above 3,100 to get out of this godforsaken downtrend. In the meantime, we are still in it. This is why I'm, being cautious with this kind of stuff. Is now a good time to short? Probably not. And if I short, I'm shooting myself in the foot over here because I do have an Ethereum open long position that liquidates at 2,400. We're at 3,000 almost, right? 2,976 is the current price. Yeah, I could still swallow like a whole 20% drop and be fine with Ethereum. I think I could start shorting. If I short on Zcash, I might open it as well on Ethereum. I do see a potential opportunity here. Stop loss above 3,000 something, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. For the time being, though, like I said, I'm going to wait it out a little bit. Solana is up 6%, saving me from almost getting liquidated by 50 cents. Wow, okay, we're still in it. Am I going to close here now? I don't think I will. I've already accepted that I lost this money here, so I'm completely indifferent if this does continue dropping. We are still technically in a downtrend. I could either like try to save my position. How much am I losing over here? Try to save $800 versus losing the whole 4,300, but this is just guaranteed loss of 3,500 either way. What's worse? I'm already at a loss either way, and I'm going to feel no pain difference for $800. That's fine. I'll just let it do whatever it wants. If it wants to recover, great. Good for me. If, like, hoping, of course, that this is the bottom. But if not, if we are still in this downtrend, make lower highs, lower lows, then we're done. I can get rid of this finally. We are no longer lateralizing. I'd say we are indeed in a downtrend that continues for Solana for the time being. We'll see how it goes. Please stop doing that. The downtrend invalidates at 136. I'm ignoring pivot levels of support and resistance for now. What's happened in the past already happened. We already used the 116 or 117 as a good support. But now we know. Saturday's nothing is going to happen, and then Sunday evening we'll have new pivot levels, which we will be using to help us, obviously. SUI is up 9% today. Wonderful. $1.46. We're still on a downtrend. 157 is where that invalidates. This should start dropping along with time. Over the weekend, Saturday, no volatility. You get the point. We hit a low of 132 from fears of Bank of Japan. 7% drop from just that alone. But we've bounced back pretty well, so I like that. We are up, like I said, 9%. So that's good. Hyperliquid up 7%. This was a little bit spooky. $22.19 was the lowest that we hit. We've risen to a high of $25.11. Current price is $24.43. We're still making lower lows on Hyperliquid, so no doubt we will still remain in this downtrend for a while till we break out of it, which we're looking at about 28 plus before we see any... before I would feel comfortable opening any longs on Hyperliquid. So for the time being, we're letting it drop. And I feel like, honestly, the whole crypto market is kind of doing this thing where everything is in a downtrend and nobody wants to do anything about it. We're just going to let things drop, let them, you know, hit their bottoms wherever it has to be, however long it takes, until we start confirming that there are uptrends again, until we start seeing the FOMO kick back into the markets. That's what everybody is waiting for, to start piling back in on. For spot market, these are great prices to start accumulating, DCAing. Don't go all in. Not financial advice. Don't do anything I'm telling you, but this is what I would do if I had $1 billion. I'd start DCAing around these prices to get in early as I can, of course, so that when things do reverse and everybody says, okay, we've confirmed bottoms, we're going to start going up from here, up only, 2026 awesome year, then you know, start taking your profits because everybody is buying after you've already bought very good prices. But it's all risk. It's all a guess. You don't know where exactly the bottom is going to be. It's all probability. So good luck with that. If only I had that money. But anyway, I'm running out. But hey, I'm starting work again soon. Should finally have a reliable source of income. And good thing about work, by the way, I don't even remember if I told you guys, but good thing about work is it's in the morning, so I'll be finished by like 4 or 5 p.m. and I'll still have enough time to stream 20 minutes late. Even right now that I'm unemployed, still 20 minutes late for you guys. Isn't that just beautiful? But no, I promise I'll be more on time. I'll try to, at least. Hey, look, today was a very important day. I had so much articles and posts to work with. Just give me a break, okay? And I was also trying to review some other stuff. It's mainly specifically with the Epstein things. Might get demonetized, who knows? But who cares, man? I'm on like a tiny channel. They're not going to review my content. Right, YouTube? Okay, they're my pals. Liquidated on BitTensor a couple days ago. We dipped a lot lower to 215. It's not even that bad, dude. 262 is where the downtrend invalidates for BitTensor. 228, 229 is the current price. We recovered to a high of 236. Pretty pathetic. I want this above 300, but it's struggling. We had a halving for BitTensor already. No one cared. We decided to make a new low. So congratulations. There's your halving. Are we having the price or what? Chainlink is at $12.50. We bottomed out at $11.73 from Fears of Japan, dropping a staggering almost 7%. Recovering today 5%. Highest we hit today was $12.74. It's not too bad. Still in a downtrend though, which invalidates at $13.50. Wonderful. Aptos among the biggest gainers today as well. Deserved, because it's been way too punished, way too oversold. Is this the time to go long? Not yet. We got to break 170 plus. Current price is 163. We bottomed out at 141, so we're up 14% today. We hit a high of 166, so not necessarily breaking the 170 just yet. If anything, I think I might also go ahead and short this. Not yet, but maybe later. Who knows? Stop above whatever this high was, the 166. I'll probably put it at 167, 68, and then go short. This is going to be like a short-term trade, of course. Looking in the 15-minute chart, something like this. Because if you pay attention to these overbought levels, yeah, great areas to confirm that that is indeed the top, hopefully. I mean, not hopefully. Long-term, hopefully that is not the top. Hopefully Aptos goes to, what, $4 or $5, whatever it was. Inflation is killing the darn coin. I feel bad for Aptos. I did mention it might be time to move on from it, so I'll give it one last shot before we start replacing the project. I only want to keep these tokens as the top ones I review for, you know, every day, but also for projects I genuinely trust in. But I've done a bit more research on Aptos. Seems like Sui is a little better still, and seems like Solana is still a little better than both of them. Yes, in theory, Aptos can handle more transactions per second, but like, I don't know, they did like the actual testing of it, stress testing. Sui beats Aptos still, and Solana apparently still beat Sui. Okay, so they've still got room to grow, but higher risk, higher reward. That's basically what it is for those tokens. I don't know. I kind of feel like shorting Aptos right now. The only thing that's stopping me from doing this is that negative funding rate and Saturday. What do I care for the negative funding rate? As long as I make profit, I make profit. But I don't know. I might do it tomorrow. We'll see. Because tomorrow the price is not going to move at all, right? We're just going to basically have to speculate what to expect for Sunday, Monday. So I think I'll do it. I'll save it for tomorrow, maybe. Or maybe I feel spicy tonight and I do it. Who knows? Make sure you subscribe to figure out. Okay? Moving on. That is all for our tokens. We're on the rise for Bitcoin very slightly. 88,100. Good. What else do we got? Let's see. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the news. Like I said, we've got very extensive amount of content to talk about. Bombshell news. Epstein files released. Let's get it. We talked about it yesterday, that today was the date we were expecting these to get dropped. Rokana commented on it saying, that lady, Pam Bondi, she better release those files by midnight tomorrow. If not, I will lay out the consequences. Oh no, what are the consequences? What is he going to do? But we do figure out what they were talking about later. Him and Thomas Massey will discuss their comments on this whole thing later. So, yep, happened today. Even the Democrats posted this. Trump's Department of Justice, they came out with this. They will not comply with today's release deadline for the Epstein files. We're talking about the whole batch. They're not going to do the whole thing. They're only releasing some. But the some that we got, it's pretty incriminating, in my opinion. I don't know. Per Trump's Deputy Attorney General, The full release will instead take place over the next couple of weeks. So yes, once again, it is getting delayed. All files were required by law to be released today. Why? Why the rush, Mr. Democrats? I was going to say Mrs. Democrats. Here are some of them. Content warning. Yes, I will show explicit messages, but a lot of it is redacted either way. Viewer discretion advised, whatever. Large portion of the Epstein files have been released, showing photos of Jeffrey Epstein with high-profile associates, including former President Bill Clinton. You're going to notice Bill Clinton is in like 90% of all of these, which is, I don't know, I find it funny. In one photo, Bill Clinton was seen in a hot tub with an anonymous female. Okay, the fact that there are SA victims in here, that is not funny. I just find it, the fact that this guy was the president, come on. My brethren in Christ, what are we doing here? Another photo, Clinton seen with Michael Jackson, and what are we blurring over here from this woman? Other files in the drop include court records, Department of Justice disclosures, Freedom of Information Act records, and other photos. Yeah, a lot of photographs with young woman and Bill Clinton. I don't know. I don't want to guess their ages, but you do the math. And then this is literally Democrats leaking the Epstein files, thinking you've finally got Trump, but you expose your own party instead. It's going to be a major talking point from here on forward. Looks like the Department of Justice just dropped some of the Epstein files. Our entire team has begun a major review. We'll keep the American people updated, says Congressman Robert Garcia. It's clear this is not a full release. We will continue to provide updates, and here is the drop. Justice.gov/Epstein. I'm not a robot. Show me the money. Apparently the search thing doesn't work. Like if you search up Trump or something, you're not gonna... Okay, it does show. What the heck? Anyways, I guess they fixed it then. Because people were saying, oh, I tried looking up Trump with this whole Epstein document and I didn't find anything, huh? How suspicious. But if you go, like, look at the actual PDF files, no pun intended, they will show the names of the people in the flight logs, but it's in handwriting. Of course, the PDF reader is not going to understand handwriting. It only understands, like, physical text like this, so that's why the search functions don't work. But yeah. I'm going to go through a lot of it, so get ready. New Epstein files drop, and it looks bad for Bill Clinton. It feels like this was more of like a targeted thing, like, you want your Epstein files? Here's your Democratic president doing a lot of heinous acts. Massive new DOJ portal quietly launched, packed with Epstein documents once sealed from the public. Much of it is redacted or already known, but that doesn't mean there's nothing explosive inside. Photos show Bill Clinton on Epstein's estate. Confirmed. One of them shows him relaxing in a hot tub with a woman whose face is censored, along with Ghislaine Maxwell, the wife of Jeffrey. The DOJ says the site holds hundreds of thousands of pages. It is searchable. It is just the beginning. Here we go. I'm hoping that a lot of this is blurred. Whatever. Looking very comfortable together. Sure. Epstein files, head of JP Morgan's private bank, developed a close relationship with Epstein. I'm not going to read a lot of that. I'm just going to go through a majority of the headlines, but you can see the text and photos for yourself. Epstein files photos of Kevin Spacey with Bill Clinton also released. Sus dudes. And Bill Clinton with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross released. Michael, come on, man. Stick to singing Billie Jean. I don't... Okay. We're just going to skip that one. Photos of Epstein holding $22,500 check with Trump's signature. What are you giving him money for, Trump? Yeah, there's literally Trump there, and there's Jeffrey holding a big fat paycheck with a woman next to him. The photo was taken at Mar-a-Lago in year 97. Okay. So obviously they were friends. The evidence keeps getting weirdo. There's twin torpedoes with a new all-power pack and separate Okay, anyways. There's more. Adult soap. Do I click this? Okay. Moving on. Florida man energy confirmed. Scarlet Gentlemen's Club in Hollandale Beach always hiring. $1,000 amateur contest on Tuesdays. Yeah, we get it. Okay. An IDF t-shirt among the items photographed in Epstein's document release. Here comes the the Israel connections, because yes, he is Jewish. Yup. Okay, well, there's that. Wait, I also had another thing here. Another photograph showing Jeffrey Epstein eating a suspiciously shaped piece of cake. Looks like boobs or something. While on the phone with a shelf of Talmud volumes behind him. One volume missing. I don't know. Once again, the whole Israel link connection, whatever you want to make of that. The message slips show callers offering females to Epstein. Okay, so confirmed he obviously stuff with females there, okay? Photo shows Epstein in Fidel Castro-style cap on his private island. Okay. What else we got? FBI notes reveal he demanded no dark girls and to check IDs to ensure the victims were under 18. Okay, that was a... You had me in the first half. Okay, no dark girls. Racist. But I understand. Checked IDs to ensure victims were under 18. Come on, dude. Check them to make sure that they are over 18, and then we're cool. You said under 18, we're done. What are we doing here? I think that's actual nudity, so I will not click it. Hillary makes an appearance too. Okay, Hillary, what are we doing? Oh, looking fabulous. Adult novelties, strip club flyers, and evidence bags of questionable items. Investigators also cataloged this glamour shot of Hillary Clinton looking like she's about to announce the Hunger Games. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She is dressed pretty elegantly. Okay, but anyway. Evil people. Hillary Clinton. What are we doing here? Yep, that is the majority of that. Here's more of just, you know, people scrolling through the whole thing. A lot of it is redacted, as you'll notice. I don't zoom in on that. Yeah, that's enough. So we did get a lot of stuff this time. They say that there's thousands more. We didn't get all of it. What else are you hiding? Maybe they're hiding the Trump stuff. I don't know. People are saying that maybe Trump is in there. But then there's also people like people manually going through them. They're like, this is all scarring stuff. Don't click on this file, especially 3440 and 3439. I want to go and look at that, whatever it is. So let's do it. I'm not a robot. Okay, data set files. You said which one? 3433. Oh my gosh. Do this so many. Or you can download all of these as a zip file. That is crazy. I don't know if I want to download all this. And I don't even see the... Oh, dude, there's so many. Oh my gosh. Can I just look this up? Search. Here's this one. All right, let me have a look. Okay, hold on. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let me go bring this into... Why are you doing this? Okay, fine. You know what? I want to pull this over on a different tab because I don't want to accidentally get demonetized or whatever. I'm not monetized, dude. Who cares? Did it download? Hold on. No, it didn't download. Good. I don't want this on my computer. Okay. Give me this. Close that. Open it on Chrome. I just want to see, and if it's safe, I will show you guys. Okay, there's literally nothing here. Unless, I don't know. Who is this woman? Do you guys know? That's all this is. How is this scarring? What are these people talking about? And especially 3440 and 3439. Alright, let's have a look. Get out of here. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. I already looked at that. Can I search again? Oh, I see what happens. I have to go back from here. I'm just gonna move this over. Sorry if this looks crazy. Okay, relax. This is... What is 3440? Let's have a look. Please copy this again. Thank you. 3440. What are we doing here? Yeah, I'm not showing this one. It is what appears to be a man with a bra and woman underwear, pulling his shirt off, very hairy, all over the place, with what looks like candy cane thigh highs, and a lot of makeup. Is this a man or a woman? No, it's too hairy to be a woman. That's a man. That's a man. I know a man when I see one. And then 3439. Yeah, I'm not showing that one, by the way, because it's pretty disgusting. I'll save your eyeballs. And here's another one with the same man. Do we know who this man is? I'm going to... Hold on. I'll show you only the face, okay? This is what we're dealing with here. He's jumping, okay? He's not on the floor. He's jumping up in the air, and... I don't know, what do you make of this? What even is that? Abomination. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. A lot of... I don't know, what do you call this? Transgender stuff? Yeah, we don't want to deal with none of that. Okay, moving on. Now, words. They called it a conspiracy. Now the Epstein flight logs are public. Unsealed records, official documents, handwritten passenger entries tied to Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft. Names that appear across the logs include Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and others tied to Epstein's inner circle. Records that were long dismissed, ignored, or buried. For years, people were told this didn't exist. Now it's documented in black and white. Okay. What other names do we see here? If we recognize any. Jeffrey. Donald Trump, right over here. Aaron Nance? I don't know who that is. A lot of Jeffreys. Some Donald Trumps. Okay. Who else we got? Rupert. Whoever that is. DD Rupert. RD Rupert. I can't read this handwriting, dude. You have the handwriting of a 4-year-old. Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know any of these people. Sorry. Eric Trump. Oh, is that actually Eric Trump? Yeah, Donald Trump, Eric Trump. Dude, Eric Trump is on here? That is crazy. Unless we're talking about someone else. I mean, this is old as well. Eric Trump would have been very young, too. Would he have been a minor? I don't even know. It doesn't say the date of these flight logs, no? No. Alright. Here's some other names that were found so far. Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, I don't know who, Ron Eppinger. I hope I didn't say anything weird. Stephen Hawking was there. Prince Andrew, I'm just going to read the names that I know. I don't know anyone else here. Hillary Clinton, named as Doe 107. So Doe is Hillary. Michael Jackson was there. Joe Biden, Tom Pritzker. Les Wexner, Thomas Pritzker. More would be added. Steven Spielberg. And yes, Trump is on there. Does that mean that Trump did the weird stuff? People still say nope. So he's safer now. I don't know. But the Pope was there. Hey, look at that. What is the Pope doing in Jeffrey Epstein's island, huh? Pope John Paul II, okay? Right there for y'all. What else we got? Many unanswered questions. Oh, this one was pretty satirical, pretty funny. Oh, hi, Moldy Onions. Welcome, sir. We're looking at Jeffrey Epstein files live. You want to see the Jeffrey Epstein files? Here they are. Enjoy. It's literally all redacted, and this is not a joke. These are all redacted pages. Not one normal page, dude. On one of them, it's literally everything redacted. That's crazy. Crazy work. Some more stuff. Yeah. Like I said, a majority of it was redacted. They said... They put out a percentage. I think it was like 97% of all of it was redacted. Some stuff had images. And they're just a bunch of random people that we don't know about. I did see one of the other ones, which... It looked like a collage or a sketchbook. I don't know. It looked like cut out photos. Like terrible Photoshop of Jeffrey Epstein and a bunch of women. In different angles. Doing different stuff. So, yeah. Okay. No, Diddy was not there. I don't see it. I didn't see the Diddy's name. Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah. And I don't think the guy was... I think he was doing his own thing. Molesting other people or something. whatever. Republican Thomas Massie, congressman, co-creator of the Epstein Transparency Act, warned leaders at the DOJ and the FBI that withholding the full Epstein files violates the law's prohibitions and could carry penalties of up to 20 years in prison. Uh-oh. This was the threat that they were giving at the beginning, is like, you better release all those files, otherwise you're going to jail. Future Department of Justice could prosecute the current officials for refusing to comply with this. Maybe Pam Bondi goes to jail. I don't know. This is what Pam Bondi says. Well, first from this WDPA news. I don't know what WDPA is. Earlier today, Department of Justice received court approval to disclose to Congress documents gathered as part of the FBI's investigation of Thomas Crooks and his attempt to assassinate Trump. Oh, this is a different thing. It's not even talking about Epstein. She says that Trump is the most transparent administration in American history. By moving to unseal these documents, we hope to give the American people more answers about that fateful date in Butler, Pennsylvania. She posted this literally 2 hours ago, by the way. Why are we talking about Thomas Crooks? Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt on Trump. We're talking about Epstein today. So she's completely dodging the whole subject, which that's not a good look. Trump was also kind of dodging the whole subject. He had a press conference today, which we'll discuss what he talked about, but at the very end, he ended it with, yep, we will not be releasing the full Epstein Transparency Act. We're not going to take any questions from the media either today. Today was just a whole talk about the cheap drug costs for Americans. That was pretty much it. I prefer not taking questions. Really don't want to soil it up by asking questions, even questions that are very fair questions that I'd love to answer. So I think we need to stop right here. And even the news reporters were like, oh, that's weird. Trump usually stays to take the questions and usually stays for like hours. It's weird that today he's not staying back to take the reporters' questions, obviously, because the Epstein files were released, and that would be the only thing that they would be talking about. So he decided to dodge today. Odd. Thomas Massie also said that he expects at least 20 Epstein clients to be named when the full Epstein files are released, so he kind of knows who's already on there. He says attorneys representing victims have confirmed the identities of men accused of trafficking children. Massie warns that if those names do not appear, it will signal that the full set of Epstein materials was never released, which I think you can confirm by now. Do we even have 20 names? We don't have the full Epstein files released, though, so that's going to be an issue. Trump's Department of Justice admits it will miss the Epstein release deadline by weeks, but it will still release hundreds of thousands of previously unseen Epstein files today, which is true. We did kind of get that. Those other images that I showed you, disturbing, but they're out there. Epstein files be like, Donald Trump is the most innocent, also is very smart. Yeah, true. That's quite literally it. Ro Khanna also talked about it a bit more, saying that you guys failed to comply with the law, authored by Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna. Okay. Unfortunately, today's document released by Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche grossly fails to comply with both the spirit and the letter of the law that Trump signed 30 days ago. So, yep. Okay. Wonderful. That pretty much puts an end to the whole Epstein stuff. Let's move on. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Trump talked about the gold card that he is releasing, or he already released. We did review it. We even looked at the website and everything. I couldn't buy one, but so far he's sold $1.3 billion of the Trump gold card. This is to allow people into the United States if you're very rich. It's the green card on steroids. It's a pathway. It's been amazing. They pay $1 million. We've had a surge. It's crazy. People are actually paying for this. People with millions are actually paying for this to come to the United States. That's cool, I guess. Are we going to use this to give dividends to the people? Maybe. Or buy Bitcoin would be better. Trump also commented on the unemployment thing. The only reason our unemployment ticked up to 4.5% is because we are reducing the government workforce by numbers that we have never seen before. 100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. I could reduce unemployment at 2% overnight just by hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary. Why don't we do this in Canada, dude? Give me an unnecessary job and to drop the unemployment rate. I wish the fake news would report the 4.5% correctly. What I am doing is the only way to make America great again. This comes after, you know, when was it? Yesterday? Was it yesterday? Or 2 days ago? It would have been 2 days ago, right? I don't remember. Whenever he gave that speech, we thought he was going to announce a war on Venezuela, but he gave the, oops, psych. This is an announcement about how great my administration is doing type of announcement. So, yeah. IC blow. Epstein files did get released, but not all of them. Just rewind the video, you'll see some of the stuff. There's more, but I'm not going to show all of it. Obvious reasons. But yeah, some of it did get released, but not all of it, which is still pretty damning. And what we got today, that was one of the main things, is that it points mainly towards Bill Clinton. Look at how bad Bill Clinton is. Haha, Democrats. You want Epstein files released? Epstein file released with only Democrat bad, and maybe some Donald Trump sprinkles in there on the flight logs, just so that you don't complain that it's biased. Because they're withholding a lot of information still. There's still hundreds of thousands of images and stuff that we need released. Surely a lot of it is stuff that we should not see, which is why a lot of it is redacted. But I don't know, maybe they're protecting too much stuff. I did hear an argument saying that, oh, it's to protect politically exposed people, the PEPs. That's why we're not releasing a lot of the stuff. Okay, dude, you're going to have to release it either way, and if there's criminals in there, regardless of their position, they must be brought to justice, in my opinion. Yeah, it is all redacted. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, moving on from that. BlackRock's Rick Reeder will be interviewed at Mar-a-Lago for the Fed chair position in the final week of the year. That's coming up soon. We're still waiting. Who is going to be our guy? Is it going to be Kevin, or now BlackRock guy? So, I don't know, BlackRock, they own a lot of Bitcoin. I'm sure they want their Bitcoin to rise, right? Surely the guy, if this guy gets chosen to be the next Fed chair, will start cutting rates aggressively. No, once again, that's, it should be independent. Fed and president should be independent. Awesome. Isn't it a hindrance to a federal investigation or a matter of national security? It's insane. Yeah, I know. It's not cool. I also disagree with that. They should just release whatever you've got, and we'll be the judge of, is this good or bad? But I don't know. They're doing it to protect a lot of stuff. Trump sold 13 million acres in Alaska. I didn't hear about that. Thoughts on streaming the P. Diddy show from Netflix? What, you want me to stream that? I don't have Netflix. Never will have Netflix. There's actually a P. Diddy show. Is it the one that 50 Cent is making? Like the documentary thing? P. Diddy show. It's a Netflix documentary. Yeah, it's by 50 Cent. Yeah, I did hear about this. The Fall of Diddy, 1 season. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch it though. Oh, you have Netflix? Sure. Just tell me what it's about then. I don't know, you watch it for me. I don't got time to watch stuff. I always like talk about people. I talk with people. I don't talk about people. I talk with people about shows and movies and stuff like that. And they're like, what do you like to watch? I'm like, dude, I don't watch anything. All I have is YouTube and that's it. I don't have Paramount, Disney Plus, Netflix, none of that stuff. Hulu, whatever. You watch one episode and it's pretty good. It's about P. Diddy. Yeah, no kidding. Wikipedia. What do you mean Wikipedia? Wikipedia? Yeah, basically P. Diddy. Come on. What else do we got? We already know what P. Diddy does. Moving on. Brown shooting. The Brown University shooting. We found the suspect. Finally. He was dead. He shot himself. He was in a storage unit in New Hampshire. So this went from... I'm going to pull up a map over here because I don't know my maps. I'm going to dox my location real quick. Hold on. Okay. So he went from Rhode Island to New Hampshire. Oh, it's not that far. He just went up north a little bit. The suspected shooter linked to the Brown University mass shooting has been found dead inside a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. Authorities are saying the individual died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yeah, two bullets to the back of the head, suicide. Yes. I'll talk about why I'm saying that. Law enforcement had been focused on the storage facility after evidence showed the suspect entered the location earlier with uncertainty over whether he ever left. That detail triggered a federal search warrant and concentrated response at the site. The discovery brings an abrupt end to a multi-state investigation that had escalated rapidly over the past 24 hours, including abandoned vehicles, license plate tracking, and growing evidence tying the two crimes together. Authorities are expected to hold a news conference, whatever. We found him dead, self-inflicted gunshot wound. What else is new? Yeah, that happened. And this is the guy, by the way. We know his name, we know everything about him. Before I read this, Brown University shooter, Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, is from Portugal. He entered the United States through the Diversity Lottery Immigrant Visa Program, DV1, in 2017. He was granted a green card. This heinous individual should never have been allowed into our country. In year 17, this was under Trump administration, by the way, he fought to end this program following the devastating New York City truck ramming by an ISIS terrorist who entered under the DV1 program and murdered 8 people. So it ended after a terrorist attack from ISIS. But, I mean, a lot of bad people seems like took advantage of this entry. Not all of them are bad, of course, but still. At President Trump's direction, I am immediately directing USCIS to pause the DV1 program to ensure no more Americans are harmed by this disastrous program. Okay, Kristi Noam. Should have been done a while ago, but thank you. What else we got? The Brown shooting suspect identified. Authorities reveal 25-year-old connection to MIT professor who was killed at that university, which is just insane. This is like 25-year beef, which is just mind-boggling. Authorities announced late Thursday that Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, the person of interest in the Brown University mass shooting, was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Salem, New Hampshire storage unit. The cases are now officially connected. This reverses the FBI's earlier statement that there was no connection between the murders. Yes, there was. It was motivated. Is he my age? No, it's not. That's not his age. It's... I'll explain what the 25 years thing is. According to the records from Instituto Superior Técnico, Portugal's preeminent engineering school, this man, in the year February 2000, Claudio Neves, was terminated from a monitor position, the same year that Professor Nuno Loureiro graduated from IST. These guys were both Portuguese nationals. They both attended the same elite university. One was fired, one went on to become a world-renowned fusion researcher. So this is beef coming from the year 2000. 25 years later, the guy carries out a targeted attack on his arch nemesis or whatever. The evidence, Rhode Island Attorney General says he was found dead with a satchel with 2 firearms and evidence in the car that matches exactly what we see at the scene here in Providence. What is a satchel? It's a messenger's satchel bag, so just a big bag. That's pretty gay, dude. It looks like a purse. Okay. A car believed to have been rented by the Neves Valente matches the vehicle identified in the MIT case. So the victims were Ella Cook, 19, sophomore, Muhammad Aziz Umurzokov, 18, brown freshman, and not that he's brown, he's from Brown University, okay? I don't know why they put it like this. Professor Nuno Loureiro, he was aged 47. MIT professor. So he basically killed the professor and 2 unfortunate students along the way. A grudge that may have festered for a quarter century. 3 innocent people dead. Devastating, man. Crazy, crazy stuff. And he was 48 years old, so he's not 25. Can I cast the SO2 tourney, please? It's so bad. Trent is casting and he sucks. I agree, Trent sucks. But no, I can't cast. Not right now. Not ever. I'm done with casting SO2 for now. So we'll leave it at that. Face photo of the Portuguese national, Claudio Neves Valente. There he is right there. He's 48 years old. Not a US citizen. Green card holder. From Portugal. Was once a Brown University student. Found dead in Salem, New Hampshire storage unit. Burn in hell, loser. Okay, pal. I mean, yes, if you commit suicide, you do go to hell. So there you go. Cowardice, I agree. And this is the craziest part of them all. It's not like the FBI did all the work here. Let's not kid ourselves. First of all, when it comes to like Charlie Kirk's assassination, FBI didn't really do much. They took a very long time to try to get the person accountable. They arrested 2 people, but they were not linked at all. And then, I mean, the only reason we know it was Tyler Robinson was because the guy turned himself in. That's it. In this case, it's a homeless man that actually did all the research and found the killer, the mass shooter, for the FBI. The FBI wasn't doing anything. Dan Bongino is resigning, and we see them with their hands in their pockets, kicking snow around, trying to look for clues. What are we even doing here, FBI? I don't think the FBI is that competent. Sorry. But yeah. A homeless man blew the Brown University shooting case wide open through a Reddit post. His name is John. He called the tip line and flagged his own Reddit post and was seen on video walking very close to the shooter. Interesting. A homeless guy that lived basically at that university. He followed the shooter around pretty closely and tipped off the FBI to help them track down his location. He might get a $50,000 reward. That is true. They did offer that. They said, if you guys help us, we'll give you a $50,000 reward. A homeless man is about to get a $50,000 paycheck. Probably going to spend it on Fent and alcohol. But anyway, he was a former Brown University student. That's crazy too. All of these are former Brown University students. He followed the gunman. He literally shouted at him, asked him why he was circling around the block. He tracked the shooter all by himself. And he also got the vehicle information, the license plate of the vehicle. He noted it down, figured out it was a rental, and then gave that information to authorities. They tracked down that license plate, figured out where the rental company was. They tracked down the security camera footage, and then tracked him from there onward to that location, that little warehouse, big warehouse, where they eventually, went in, didn't know if he was alive or dead or still armed or whatever. And they found him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's basically the end of that story. I think I already read all this. Targeted attack? Yes, it was. Here's some conspiracy area stuff of all this. Targeted shooting on college campus. The shooter shouts something. No footage, no witnesses interviewed. The shooter gets away, which was annoying, honestly, the fact that FBI took too long. Shooter got away. What, you don't have any footage? Okay. He kills a nuclear physicist. The shooter gets away. The case is broken open by a homeless graduate with no identity, no online footprint, simultaneously has a cell phone and a Reddit account, who writes down the license plate of the car of the shooter after confronting him in a bathroom, actually. They were shouting at each other in the bathroom. Allows authorities to track the shooter's car with changing license plates and trace his untraceable phone to a storage facility where he was found dead by suicide after his massive effort to get away. Case closed. Yeah, we'll never know what happened. Crazy, crazy stuff. Imagine if he doesn't get that money. That would be like the ultimate. Yeah. And same thing that happened with Charlie Kirk when he got killed. The FBI, same deal. They were offering a huge amount of money reward to anyone who helps figure out who the shooter is. I don't remember if the dad of Tyler Robinson, because he's the one that turned him in, basically. He figured out that Tyler Robinson did kill Charlie Kirk, and he's like, I'm going to turn you into authorities. He locked him in his room, and then he's called the cops on him, the sheriff or whatever. I don't think he received the reward, but yeah, I mean, he could have. Would you turn your son in if he was a killer for a fat $100,000 paycheck, whatever it was? I don't remember. Crazy stuff, man. What am I talking about in my videos that are in Spanish? I'm reading a book about intimacy. What I learned about it so far? Yeah, I don't think he collected the money. Hold on. Let me read the book here. My voice might sound echoey because I'm literally using the book as a mic stand. So, you gotta be intimate. You gotta be yourself. Don't try to I don't know, look in the outside what you must first fix on the inside. Basically philosophical stuff. That's all it is. There we go. I'm not ignoring you. I'm literally reading you. Okay, I'm just trying to get through this story first before I start answering your questions. I think this is all really it. This is one more post about it. The guy shot up Brown, fled 55 miles away. 2 days later, gunned down America's top nuclear fusion researcher. 2 days later, Trump's social media company merges with a Russian-backed nuclear fusion company, which we did talk about. The guy offs himself in a storage facility. Suspicious? Maybe. Yeah, that's it. Did I find a GF yet? No, I didn't. Don't think I will for a long time, and that is fine. I don't find any... I was going to say I don't find any woman attractive. No, I do find women attractive. I don't find any woman that is attractive to me yet. Like, I don't have options is what I'm trying to say, okay? Look at the time. It's 10:15. I know. Relax. All right, what else did you guys yap about? Let me scroll up. Reload sit. Did I see the thing about the 12 dead shooting in Australia? Yeah, we did cover that too. The Bondi Beach shooting. Crazy stuff there too, which I condemn all those acts, of course. It was an anti-Semitic attack on Hanukkah. 2 Muslim men, a dad and a son duo, with shotguns, by the way, and some sniper rifle. A bolt action. Yeah, they went crazy. Killing a total of 14, I think. And then there was a there's a brave man, first of all, who actually took one of the guns away from out of the dad's shooter's hands. And he pointed it at him. Could have at least blown his legs off to prevent a few more kills. But no, he just let him run away. And he just took the gun and left, right? The son, I think, was like protecting his dad, counterattacking. And he did receive 2 bullet wounds, but he's fine. He's recovering in the hospital, the hero. And then the dad went back, continued shooting a couple more Jews, and then he got killed by a detective with a handgun from a tree. A very good shot at very far distance. And then it was like a 1v1 duel until the son figured out his dad was dead and he just gave up. And then the cops came and arrested him. He woke up from a coma, apparently. I don't know. He got curb stomped and everything by a bunch of Australians who were pissed at him for committing terrorism, basically. What are we getting instead? We're getting tighter gun laws. We're not focusing on immigration in Australia, which is just fantastic. So, yeah, there was that. I did see all that. SO2 Turney, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, his name was John. That's crazy. The homeless guy. John David, they're coming after you. It's, yeah, no, it's not 15 minutes past. I said 10:30, okay, maybe around that time. Can I join Congress? I would like to. Yeah, people are strange, dude. Yeah. I did literally look up on ChatGPT, what do I gotta do to become a politician? Well, in Canada, obviously, the rules are a little different. And it said something like, oh, you gotta get involved more, be more extroverted, network with a lot of people so that they know your name, and then go for mayor or something. And then you can go for, you know, whatever section or riding, whatever you want to call it, to be a member of provincial parliament. And then you go to member of parliament. I basically would have to replace Doug Ford. Yeah. You're the new JD Vance. Your name is literally JD, which is so cool. I find that cool. Matt hates us. No, I don't. I love you guys. And yeah, you do also have to be rich. You either have to be like Donald Trump rich, where everybody just knows your name, love you or hate you. And yeah, just be good at networking and extroverted. They told me something like, go join a school board as a trustee. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do that. Are you kidding me? I literally, hold on. I might have to, can I please drag this over here? Thank you. Do you guys see this? I hope not. No, you can't. Good. Where did I look at it? How to become a politician. Can't believe I freaking looked this up, dude. Okay, here we go. Let me put this in a tab here. All right. How to become a politician in Canada. Got to be municipal, provincial, federal. Got to be 18 plus. You got to pay $1,000, which is just cringe. Why do you got to do that? Own a property there. I hope I didn't disclose personal information. Who cares? My whole life is public at this point. Help me with that. Look how nerd. Anyways, what do I care about? Housing, healthcare, cost of living, immigration, youth issues, business or economy? That's a good question because I do have to focus on all this stuff if I do want to become a politician. So I'm like, housing, yeah. Healthcare, I think that will solve itself if we get rid of immigration, for example. Cost of living would also solve itself if we get rid of immigration. Youth issues, immigration. And business and economy, immigration. I think immigration ties to all of this. It will solve literally all of these. What do you guys think? Oh, you got to pay 1,000 because it's why did it say? It's just a deposit, a nomination deposit, whatever that means. If you're doing it by province, you need a $200 deposit. Well, I don't know why they're cringe like that, but sure. It's so pointless. You got to volunteer a lot, join local boards and committees, be active in local politics in your party, start a social media presence, which I could kind of get behind that. Network with community leaders, business owners, media. If we're talking about big people already, yeah, I can network with bigger people. That's fine. But if we're talking about like randoms and nobodies, no, I'm not going to be good at that. I'm not an extroverted guy, so. Oh yeah, you do have some crazy screenshots. Yep. There's some messages out there that might get me, if not arrested, definitely will block my chances of ever becoming successful as a politician. I mean, yeah, come on. All politicians do say bad things. You literally have Trump saying retard again. That's beautiful. I'm going to have to, pay you hush money so that I could stay alive in politics. It's pretty cool, though. Like, this is stuff that interests me, but I don't know. That's just something for if I ever do get rich. And I asked it to do like, okay, what do you, tell me like, yeah, just tell me what to do, basically. Local issues, roads, snow removal, that's what I would focus on as a municipal politician. And then a provincial politician would be like healthcare, education, highways, policing, social services. And then federal politics, the largest level, it's like national defense, immigration, Canada-wide taxes. This is the stuff that interests me. I don't care about a highway or a police. Okay, I do kind of care about it, of course. Taxes, yummy, that's money for us. Minimum wage, all that stuff. Arrested, yeah. The money I get from losing 2 cents from Bitcoin. Dude, don't do that. Dude, you should be up today. Oh, I got logged out. Beautiful. Don't care. Yeah, so that's that. That's what being a politician would entail. I'm going to finish up the news here. I only have 4 more news articles to cover related to crypto. So moving on from geopolitics. Markets rebound after the Bank of Japan rate hike. I guess that's kind of... No, that's federal policy. Monetary policy, sorry. At the federal level. Bank of Japan, it raised interest rates by 25 basis points to 0.75%. Confirmed. I didn't get to confirm this yesterday night, but by the looks of it, the early pump that we got, I kind of inferred that from the move that we were getting. Despite the hike, Bitcoin moved higher, which was a surprise for all of us. Am I slapping my cable too much? Sorry. Am I making money on Bitcoin? I lost a lot, but right now I'm up like $50, so yeah, I guess. Bitcoin, Ethereum reclaimed key technical levels, supported by stronger Asian markets after softer US inflation data, which also reinforced expectations for future Fed rate cuts. I do feel like we will get at least 2 rate cuts next year. We'll be fine. Not reading all that. Moving on. We'll also have $4,000 heading to US taxpayers in year 26. JP Morgan Chase strategist says that US taxpayers are estimated to receive higher tax refund next year, which will boost consumer spending. You hear that? You guys are now ready to make some money. A tax refund, basically. You pay tax, you get some of it back. 25% year-over-year increase in tax refunds will trigger a temporary spending bump for the economy in the first half of year 26. That's good. So we've got a lot of liquidity injection projections for next year. All this money that people will suddenly be having What are you going to do with excess money? You're going to invest it and you're going to buy Bitcoin to make me happy. That's what your purpose is. Okay? So you better do it. A recent study found that nearly 1 in 4 taxpayers plan to use their refund to buy crypto. Is that real? What? Expect a fresh injection of liquidity in the markets. That's crazy. Big if true. 2026 looks decent. Silver is doing what Bitcoin should have been doing this year, but whatever. They're up 131% in year 25 with 8 consecutive green monthly candles. That is crazy. They hit a new all-time high of $67 silver. You're going to spend money on what? On skins? Okay. What am I looking for? Silver. XAG. Where's Capital Comp? Here we go. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki was right. Silver hitting $70 this year. Congrats, dude. I want to look this up. Kiyosaki silver 70. I'm sure he talked about this. I'll bet you money. We'd be talking about 666 here. April 1. He did say this. April 1st of this year, he said, silver is set to boom. The hottest investment is silver. Much more demand than supply. La 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 gold. Silver is still 60% below its all-time high. It was at $34 an ounce. Today it's at 67. 67. I'm waving my arms around. He predicts silver will 2x this year to at least $70 an ounce. 2x this year to $70 an ounce. He got it. He got the prediction right. They were at 67. We're almost at the end of the year. That's good. Consumerism is the only way to live. Sure. Check gold. Here it is. We're almost at all-time highs with gold as well. We're $4,338 an ounce. At that time in April, right? Yes. Gold was at $3,115. So it had a good rise as well. The all-time high that it hit was very recent in October. Right now we're on our way to approaching that level once again. We got super close to it when we had economic data come out over here on December 18, yesterday. Really, yesterday? Oh, apparently so. Yep, we had that yesterday and we're still on our way up. So I think, yeah, gold is next for sure. And it makes you wonder, if gold is hitting all-time highs and silver is, why isn't Bitcoin doing anything? We're seeing trillions flow in and out of gold right now. 30 trillion market cap. We only need like 1 more trillion to double the price of Bitcoin. It's 1.7 trillion market cap. Okay, give us 2 trillion. It'll pump Bitcoin to 200K easily. But nobody wants to buy it. Like I said, as I hypothesized at the beginning, is people are just waiting for like these downtrends to be confirmed broken before people actually start FOMOing in. There's a couple of stuff in 2026 that could boost that. We have fundamentals on our side that should prevent price from falling lower. I think we're good, dude. We took the Japan bad news in a good way, in the best way possible. So we don't got to worry about that anymore. And we got plenty of liquidity injections, stimulus, all that stuff. But I don't know. I just hope Bitcoin doesn't end the year in the red. So Bitcoin end of year, 93K plus, hopefully. You're going to work at a gold mine soon, so you'll just take gold. Only need a couple ounces. If you do get gold, sell it immediately. Not financial advice. Because it's at all-time highs. What, you think you're going to sell this when it drops? What are you, crazy? Come on now. You get the point. Charles Hoskinson, this is the founder of Cardano, says that Trump's meme coin is at fault for derailing crypto regulation. That stuff, the Clarity Act, all those regulations, Market Something Act is coming out hopefully January or early next year. It was expected to pass in late 2024. Or do you mean 25? I'm not even reading the whole thing, but yeah. Okay, they're basically weaponizing the Clarity Act into a midterm campaign weapon. Imagine if they actually do that. Oh my gosh. They just delay it further and they'd be like, you better vote for Republicans in the midterm, otherwise your Crypto Clarity Act will not pass. Imagine that, dude. They're kind of already doing that with the dividend thing. The $2,000 dividend that you guys are supposed to get, the stimulus check. because tariffs are so good. It's a form of I don't want to call it bribery or manipulation, but I think you guys understand, right? It's like Supreme Court, you better not say that tariffs are illegal, otherwise Americans don't get $2,000 each. And Americans, you guys better vote for us because we're giving you free money, affordability, right? Weaponizing all that stuff for the midterms. Yeah, you're getting more free money late next year. So that's $2,000 that you're going to be getting. What are you going to spend it on? I wonder. I think that's really it from this. I'm not reading all that. Yeah, and that's quite literally all I had to talk about. Beautiful. How long have we been streaming? 1 hour, 10 minutes. That's perfect. Yeah, you'll take the bribe. Obviously. Easy. Give me money, I'll vote for you. Okay, so that is all for tonight. Thanks guys so much for watching. What to expect for tomorrow? It's Saturday. We're not expecting nothing. PCE next week. GDP Tuesday for economic data, and that's quite literally it. Oh, it's Christmas next week. Beautiful. Obviously, I won't be streaming on Christmas Day. I'll be with my cousins celebrating. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's 10:30. Okay, I'm going to end stream, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. And thanks for subscribing to the new subscribers. I will see you tomorrow, where we will possibly discuss some entries. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to cast.